Well, both the women's and men's NCAA tournament commenced last week, and as the nickname March Madness implies, there were plenty of nail-biters and upsets, some of which can lead to pretty big opportunities these days off the court. Well, joining me now with more is Amanda Christovich. She's a reporter at Front Office Sports. Amanda, it's great to have you on the show this morning. I'm sure it was a very busy weekend for you.
Yes.
And let's get right to it. McNeese State pulling off one of the most notable first-round upsets this year. One of the biggest winners, though, was not a player, and you covered that story. What should we know about Aura Khan?
Yeah, what was super interesting, as you mentioned, was it's become pretty commonplace for Cinderella teams over the past few years to have players who make, a decent amount of money in name, image, and likeness endorsement deals. But Amir Khan is actually the McNeese State manager, and he went viral a few weeks before the tournament for walking out with the players with like a boombox around his neck. And when McNeese made the tournament, it was pretty clear that he was going to be like the most famous member of the team, and he's not even playing, right? He has inked, several endorsement deals. The latest number that I saw was $100,000 minimum. If you saw him walking out with the boombox during the tournament, he had a big tick pick sign like taped to it because he had a deal with Tick Pick. He obviously the team will not be in the Sweet 16, but I think it's pretty clear that his life has been changed. He's going to follow Coach Will Wade to NC State as a graduate assistant. And it's pretty cool to see that, you don't even have to be a player on one of these Cinderella teams to have a life-changing experience in the tournament.
I think those stories are certainly what makes March Madness have such a mass appeal. I do want to ask, of course, in the NIL era, name, image, and likeness, it does present new opportunities in other ways. How has billionaire and St. John's alum Mike Rapoli helped the Red Storm win the Big East, earn a number 2 seed, but unfortunately get booted from the tournament by Arkansas over the weekend?
Yes. I think that Big East Commissioner Val Ackerman said it best. After St. John's won the Big East tournament, I was talking to her about, look, the Big East teams they don't have power conference football. They don't have those millions and millions of dollars, sometimes billions, in television revenue that the power conferences and college football playoff pay out. So they have to find other ways to fund teams. And this trend of, billionaire alums getting involved with, offering money to the NIL collectives. Those are like groups of boosters who offer endorsement deals or other types of deals to players. They have become a main way for everyone, but specifically these non-football teams to cash in and to be able to build a roster. And when I spoke with Mike before the Big East tournament, he said, look, this isn't like I'm not choosing the roster, right? That's all Coach Rick Pitino. I'm just making sure that the team has the resources to recruit the best players, the players that Pitino wants. And I mean, it was an unbelievable run. Nobody, including the athletic director who I spoke with, expected the team, to do as well as they did this season. They were hoping for, a bid in the tournament, but they won their first Big East tournament in 25 years. And they made it to the round of 32, and they gave Arkansas a very difficult, they put up a big fight. And look, it's funny because Arkansas is a similar team. They have the backing of John Tyson of Tyson Foods. So it's kind of this interesting cross between business and basketball that we're seeing with a lot of these teams.
So, Amanda, we got to shift to the women's tournament because that is one that I really do love following as well. And a development that you've been covering are the new units payouts. Explain these to us.
Okay, so for the past, I don't even know how many years, the men's tournament offers prize money because the men's tournament media rights deal with CBS and Warner Brothers Discovery pays out like $870 million a year and counting. It's going up every year. So each team for making the tournament gets about $2 million they win for their conference. For years, the men's tournament has received this prize payout system, which, as you can imagine, is a major incentive for athletic departments to invest in men's basketball. The women's tournament hasn't had that. And finally, in 2021, right, go back to when all the teams were playing in these like semi bubbles during COVID. I hate to remind everyone of those dark days, but those were the times when everyone, the inequities were put on display. And a gender equity report found that if you give the women's tournament a units system, a similar prize money system that the men's tournament has, they will be incentivized to invest in women's basketball. And that's exactly what's happening. There's a new media deal. The numbers aren't as high as the men's, but for the first time, there's a prize payout system for every team that advances through the women's tournament all the way up to the championship. They're getting, at least six figures in units for their prowess in the tournament. It's really exciting.
It has been fun to watch, no doubt about that. Amanda Christovich, thank you so much for joining. Amanda is a sports business reporter for Front Office Sports.
Yes, thank you for having me.